太太，亲爱的，维尼。
Late night TV is where stars are born, egos are crushed, and jaw-dropping moments happen, often live, in front of millions of viewers. Over the years, we've seen some truly bizarre, unbelievable, and downright shocking moments on TV's most iconic talk shows. But which moments stand out as the craziest in history? Get ready to witness outrageous interviews, unexpected celebrity meltdowns, and moments that would change TV history forever. From hilarious stunts to outrageous rants, these are the moments that had everyone talking, and still do. Hold on tight, because what you're about to witness will leave you gasping in disbelief. The craziest moments in late-night TV aren't just about the stars involved. They're about how these moments go viral, setting new standards for what can happen on live TV. But what makes these moments so captivating? The fact that anything can happen, and it often does. Late-night TV shows are known for pushing boundaries, and sometimes they cross a line that leaves the world in shock. So, sit back, relax, and get ready for a wild ride through the most outrageous, unplanned, and unforgettable events in late-night television history. The I'm on a boat moment, Will Ferrell and the legendary SNL skit. When you think of shocking late-night moments, one skit that instantly comes to mind is Will Ferrell and Andy Samberg's wild performance of I'm on a Boat on Saturday Night Live, SNL. What began as a parody music video about life on a yacht turned into one of the most outrageous performances ever seen on live TV. With Samberg's wild energy and Ferrell's commitment to the absurdity, they brought chaos to the SNL stage in a way that made viewers question, did they just do that? The shocking part wasn't just the song itself, but how far the two went to make it over the top. Ferrell's deadpan delivery while rapping about being on a boat in the most absurd way possible, while Samberg danced and rapped with wild abandon, left the audience in hysterics. It wasn't just a musical sketch, it was an instant classic, and to this day, people still quote lines from it. The sketch felt like something out of left field, one that no one could predict and no one would forget. It was a perfect storm of chaos and comedy. But beyond the outrageous performance, there was a deeper layer, the complete unpredictability of it. This moment perfectly exemplified what late-night TV does best, turning the unexpected into something that resonates with pop culture. Ferrell and Samberg's ability to make people laugh until they cried while embracing the absurdity of their situation was iconic. What if we told you this wasn't the only time a simple skit turned into a cultural phenomenon? Wait until you see what else happened next on live TV that left viewers speechless. The Jon Stewart vs. Jim Cramer showdown. Jon Stewart had always been known for his biting political commentary, but in 2009, he took it to a new level with his public takedown of CNBC's Jim Cramer. The tension had been building for weeks, but when Stewart brought Cramer on The Daily Show, it was like watching a gladiatorial battle on live TV. Stewart didn't hold back, accusing Cramer and CNBC of enabling the financial collapse by making disastrous predictions and advice that ultimately led to people losing billions. But the moment that stunned the world was how raw and unrelenting Stewart was. As Stewart grilled Cramer on his past, the audience could feel the intensity in the air. It wasn't a traditional interview. It was a confrontation, with Stewart going after Cramer's credibility in ways no one had seen before. The media had always seen Stewart as a comedian, but this interview proved he was much more than that. A fearless journalist who wasn't afraid to ask the hard questions, even if it meant embarrassing a powerful figure. Cramer, visibly uncomfortable, tried to defend his actions, but Stewart's relentless questioning left him stumbling for answers. What made this late-night moment so memorable wasn't just the shock value, but the stakes. This wasn't a celebrity feud or a funny sketch. This was a live interrogation that would forever change the way people viewed late-night TV. The conversation about financial responsibility, media manipulation, and accountability became the real topic after the show aired. Stewart's willingness to tackle these serious issues in such a public way showed that late-night TV could be a platform for meaningful discussion, not just comedy. The effects of this showdown didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. What happened after Stewart and Cramer's intense moment would leave everyone wondering if Jon Stewart could single-handedly change how we view financial news. David Letterman's jaw-dropping confession. David Letterman was a king of late-night TV, and his legendary career was marked by countless memorable moments. But in 2009, he stunned audiences by revealing something shocking. He had been the victim of an extortion plot. On air, Letterman candidly confessed that someone had tried to blackmail him with compromising information about his personal life. What made the revelation even more mind-blowing was Letterman's demeanor. Calm, collected, and completely unfazed by what would have sent most people into a tailspin. The confession itself wasn't just surprising, it was almost unbelievable. Here was one of the most iconic late-night hosts in the world, casually admitting to a crime that had been threatening his career and personal life for months. The audience was left in stunned silence, and the moment became one of the most talked-about events in late-night history. Letterman's composure in the face of such scandal was as shocking as the confession itself. This wasn't just another funny or quirky late-night segment, it was raw, real, and honest. The confession was the ultimate example of how late-night TV can take you behind the curtain of public figures, showing their humanity in a way that no other format could. But it wasn't just about the scandal. It was about how Letterman chose to handle it. His calm, almost philosophical approach to the situation became a defining moment of his career. Hook. But did Letterman's confession ruin his reputation, or did it make him even more beloved? Keep watching to find out how this shocking moment ultimately changed his legacy. Jimmy Kimmel's Mean Tweets phenomenon. Jimmy Kimmel's Mean Tweets segment may have started as a funny idea, but it quickly became one of the most talked-about late-night features in history. What could be more outrageous than watching a celebrity read aloud the cruelest, funniest, and most bizarre hate tweets about themselves? The genius of this segment was its simplicity. Just a raw, unfiltered look at how celebrities react to the sometimes harsh opinions of the public. From actors to musicians, late night's biggest stars were put on display, not for their talent, but for the hate they received online. What made Mean Tweets truly insane was how much the celebrities embraced it. Kimmel was able to make these public figures read insults with a sense of humor and humility, creating an unexpected bond between them and the audience. The humor was in the discomfort, the awkwardness, and the unexpected sense of camaraderie that came out of the whole process. As the segment gained popularity, more and more A-list stars lined up to take part. It became one of Kimmel's signature moments, and the internet exploded with clips of celebrities' hilarious reactions. But what made this segment truly groundbreaking was its ability to turn negativity into something funny. It wasn't about tearing people down. It was about embracing the reality of public life and laughing at it. In a world where celebrities are often seen as untouchable, Kimmel's Mean Tweets brought them down to earth, showing that even they have to deal with online trolls. But just when you thought Kimmel couldn't push it any further, he did. What happens next on Mean Tweets will make you wonder how far late-night TV can really go. Don't go anywhere. This is just the beginning. Kanye West's infamous VMA incident. We all remember the moment when Kanye West stormed the stage during Taylor Swift's acceptance speech at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards. But to call it simply a stage invasion would be an understatement. What Kanye did on live TV was an act of pure, unfiltered chaos. The moment was electric with tension, as West, uninvited, grabbed the mic from Swift and loudly declared that Beyoncé had the best video of all time. Swift, frozen in shock, was left speechless in front of millions of viewers, while the audience erupted in boos. The outrageousness of Kanye's behavior left the world in stunned silence, unsure of how to process what had just happened. This wasn't just a celebrity feud. This was a public meltdown on one of the biggest stages of the year. The aftermath was intense, with fans and media members alike debating Kanye's intentions. Was it a publicity stunt? A genuine outburst of frustration? No matter the reason, the incident cemented itself in late-night TV history as one of the most shocking, dramatic moments ever seen. But Kanye's actions didn't just stop at shocking the world. This moment changed his career forever. He was vilified by the public and went on to explain his actions in interviews, but the incident marked a turning point in his image. It was a moment that blurred the line between performance and reality, and it left an indelible mark on pop culture. In fact, The infamous moment has been referenced so many times in the years since that it almost feels like part of the history of live television itself. The fallout from Kanye's VMA incident would continue for years. But was it a career-destroying move, or did it actually make Kanye more famous? Stay tuned to find out how this moment shaped his legacy and the future of live TV moments. The epic feud between Joan Rivers and Johnny Carson. Late-night TV has been home to some legendary moments, but none were as explosive as the feud between Joan Rivers and Johnny Carson. Joan Rivers had been a fixture on The Tonight Show, often filling in for Carson as a guest host, and was one of the most loved personalities in the late-night world. But when she made the decision to leave Carson's show and launch her own talk show, it sent shockwaves through the late-night community. The fallout was immediate and messy, and the public had never seen anything like it before. Carson, who had once mentored Rivers, felt deeply betrayed by her decision. The rift between them was both personal and professional, and Rivers' new show was never able to recover from the backlash. Carson publicly refused to speak to her, and for years the two avoided each other, making the situation even more intense. It wasn't just a late-night rivalry, it was a full-scale TV drama that involved ego, pride, and betrayal. The audience could feel the tension in the air, especially when Rivers would discuss Carson in interviews. There was no love lost between the two. What made this late-night moment truly outrageous was the way the feud played out in public. Both Rivers and Carson were legendary in their own right, but their rivalry was like watching two icons battle for the crown. The animosity was so deep that it defined a large part of both of their careers. It wasn't just a feud, it was a war, one that would go on for years. Rivers, who was known for her biting humor, often spoke about the pain of losing her mentor, while Carson remained silent, letting his absence speak for itself. After years of silence, something unexpected happened between Rivers and Carson. Did their feud ever end? Or was this the ultimate late-night rivalry? Stick around to find out how the story of these two legends finally ended. David Spade and Chris Farley's Chippendales. Dance Off. One of the wildest and most iconic sketches in Saturday Night Live history came when David Spade and Chris Farley performed their unforgettable Chippendales Dance Off. In a sketch that was as hilarious as it was absurd, Farley, known for his larger-than-life personality, found himself competing against the much smaller Spade for a position as a Chippendale dancer. What ensued was a mix of chaos, physical comedy, and unexpected brilliance. The two stars gave it their all, with Farley throwing himself into the role of the awkward, over-enthusiastic dancer, while Spade played it cool, trying to outshine his larger counterpart. The sketch became legendary, not just because of the performances, but because of how well Farley and Spade played off each other's comedic strengths. The contrast between Farley's exuberance and Spade's dry humor was what made the sketch so memorable. The audience was laughing non-stop, and it's one of those moments in late-night TV where the sheer ridiculousness of it all made it perfect. Watching Farley's physical comedy as he awkwardly tried to outdance Spade was the perfect storm of comedy. What made this late-night moment even more insane was how much Farley threw himself into the role. Known for his ability to commit fully to any performance, Farley's dedication to this sketch was one of the reasons it became a cult classic. His willingness to dive into the absurdity, combined with Spade's perfect timing, created one of the most talked-about moments in late-night TV history. This sketch was pure gold, but did you know there's more behind-the-scenes chaos that made this moment even more unforgettable? Stay tuned for the shocking details that turned this sketch into a royal late-night sensation. Jimmy Kimmel's The Handsome Men's Club skit with Matt Damon. If there's one thing Jimmy Kimmel is known for, it's pushing the boundaries with his wild and sometimes outlandish skits. But in 2013, he took things to a whole new level with his now iconic Handsome Men's Club segment. The premise? Kimmel invited some of Hollywood's most beloved leading men to join him in a fictional club for attractive men. But what made this skit explode into late-night TV history was the surprise appearance of Matt Damon, who, instead of participating in the fun, proceeded to mock Kimmel in the most hilarious and unexpected way. Kimmel, known for his playful rivalry with Damon, used the opportunity to turn their feud into one of the most memorable moments on late-night TV. The chemistry between Kimmel and Damon, who, for years, had feuded on Kimmel's show, turned the entire skit into a masterpiece of comedy. What started as a simple joke about handsome men quickly escalated into a full-blown comedic brawl, with Damon hilariously ruining the entire segment. The audience was left howling with laughter at the unexpected twist, as Damon's disruption turned the skit into a chaotic, yet brilliant display of late-night comedy. What made this moment even more outrageous was how perfectly Kimmel and Damon's playful feud translated to live TV. This wasn't just a comedy sketch, it was a battle of wits, and Damon was determined to steal the spotlight, no matter what. The chemistry between the two made the whole thing unforgettable, turning a simple segment into a late-night masterpiece that fans couldn't stop talking about. But this wasn't the end of Kimmel and Damon's feud. There's more hilarious drama ahead. You won't believe what happened next when Damon took things one step further in their ongoing rivalry. The crazy Baba Booey incident on The Howard Stern Show. The Howard Stern Show has always been known for its outlandish moments, but one of the most famous incidents came when a prank caller interrupted Stern's show by screaming "Baba Booey" into the mic. While that might sound like just another prank, what followed was absolute chaos that turned late-night radio into a live-action circus. The caller's attempt to make a mockery of Stern's show didn't just stop at the iconic Baba Booey scream. It quickly escalated into a full-blown radio war between Stern's fans and the prankster's followers. The Baba Booey incident became a cultural phenomenon, with fans and even celebrities jumping into the fray. Stern, whose shows often pushed boundaries, didn't back down. Instead, he leaned into the chaos, turning it into one of his most iconic late-night moments. What made it even crazier was how the incident transformed into an ongoing feud between Stern's team and the pranksters, creating a saga that played out live on air and built the kind of tension you could cut with a knife. What made this incident even crazier was the fact that Baba Booey became a catchphrase of sorts, with fans screaming it in the streets, at sporting events, and in interviews. What started as a radio prank became part of pop culture, with the late-night TV world completely embracing the chaos that surrounded it. Stern's willingness to let the madness unfold live on air made it one of the craziest moments in late-night history. The Baba Booey saga didn't just end with the prank. What happened next when Stern turned the tables on the pranksters will shock you. Get ready for the ultimate payback. Conan O'Brien's hilarious Walker, Texas Ranger cold open. Conan O'Brien, always known for his offbeat humor and quirky skits, took things to a new level during his time hosting The Tonight Show, with his now infamous cold open of Walker, Texas Ranger. For this segment, O'Brien decided to introduce a hilarious supercut of the most absurd moments from the hit TV show, featuring Chuck Norris. But Conan didn't just let the footage speak for itself. He overlaid his own hilarious commentary, turning an already absurd show into an uproar of laughter. What made this cold open particularly insane was O'Brien's ability to poke fun at the show's overly serious tone while keeping the humor light and clever. He masterfully deconstructed the ridiculousness of Walker, Texas Ranger, making it look even more absurd than it already was. This segment quickly became one of Conan's most beloved moments, with fans all over the world quoting lines from it. The humor was smart, subtle, and brilliantly executed. This cold open was a perfect example of how late-night TV allows for anything to happen, where hosts can take something as mundane as a TV show and turn it into pure comedic gold. O'Brien's approach to humor was different from anyone else's, and it's no surprise that this moment became one of the craziest and most memorable in late-night TV history. But Conan wasn't finished with outrageous cold opens. Stick with us to find out which other legendary moments he pulled off, turning late-night TV into his personal playground. Will Ferrell's epic cowbell sketch, There's Comedy, and then there's Will Ferrell's cowbell sketch. On Saturday Night Live, Ferrell's portrayal of a cowbell player who can't seem to stop playing the instrument, no matter how much it drives everyone crazy, became one of the show's most iconic sketches. But what made this late-night TV moment truly crazy wasn't just Ferrell's absurdity. It was the sheer chaos he created by committing so fully to the role. The More Cowbell sketch had everything: over-the-top acting, unforgettable lines, and a level of comedic commitment that only Ferrell could bring to the table. As he belted out his lines, constantly shaking the cowbell, his energy and passion took the sketch to levels of absurdity that left viewers in tears from laughter. The fact that this became one of Ferrell's most iconic moments speaks to his ability to turn even the silliest of ideas into comedy gold. What made it even crazier was the fact that the sketch wasn't just a funny moment, it became a part of pop culture. "I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell," is now a line that lives on in history. Ferrell's comedic genius shone through in this outrageous moment, and it's a perfect example of how late-night TV can turn a seemingly small sketch into a cultural landmark. But what was the story behind Ferrell's commitment to the cowbell? Stay tuned to hear the shocking behind-the-scenes secrets that made this sketch even wilder than it appeared on TV. The Conan O'Brien and Andy Richter Tonight Show feud. In 2009, Conan O'Brien took over The Tonight Show from Jay Leno, and it was a moment of great excitement, until things took an unexpected turn. Behind the scenes, a brewing feud between Conan and his longtime friend and sidekick Andy Richter was about to play out in front of millions of viewers. What started as playful banter on air slowly turned into a tense, unspoken rivalry that played out in real time. Their relationship had always been a comedic partnership, with Andy serving as the perfect foil to Conan's absurd humor. But behind the jokes, there was an undeniable tension, and their comedic dynamic began to shift. Conan's rise to The Tonight Show had come after years of hard work, but as ratings fluctuated, the pressure of hosting the most iconic late-night show in the world was starting to take its toll on the pair. The light-hearted banter between Conan and Andy turned into moments of awkwardness, with Richter often left in the background, while Conan pushed to keep the show afloat. The tension reached a boiling point when Richter unexpectedly left the show for a period of time, leaving Conan to explain what had happened to their viewers. What made this moment even crazier was the fact that it played out live on television. Viewers were glued to their screens as the drama unfolded in front of them, unsure of where things were headed. The comedy duo, who had been inseparable for years, now found themselves at a crossroads. But this was late-night TV, and no one really knew what was coming next. Would Conan and Andy reconcile, or was their partnership over for good? What made it truly outrageous was that the audience was witnessing a behind-the-scenes drama unfold live, and no one could predict the outcome. This wasn't just an on-air conflict. Was this feud the end of an era for Conan's late-night reign? Stick around as we explore the dramatic conclusion of this late-night saga, and how it forever changed the world of TV hosting. From explosive interviews to unforgettable meltdowns, late-night TV has given us some of the most shocking and outrageous moments in television history. These unforgettable events prove that in the world of live TV, anything can happen, and often does. But what's next? The wild world of late-night TV is far from over, and who knows what crazy moment will happen next. What's your favorite late-night shocker? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping moments from the world of late-night television. The next crazy chapter is just around the corner. Stay tuned.